morning. So they still got the rain for today. It's supposed to start raining this afternoon. But this is what we geared up yesterday, and this is mostly how we set up when we're drying grain in the fall. And how do you know what the moisture of the wheat is? Pretty simple. You take your scale. You need 250 grams of wheat. You gotta know the temperature of it. 20 degrees. Come over here to your fancy moisture meter. These are pretty good ones. There's all different kinds. I don't know what these are worth now, $1,000 or something, but calibrate it so when you move you set this dial to the calibration, this dial to calibration, and this little one on the side. You turn it till the red needle goes all the way to the left. Perfect. Put in your 250 grams. Drop it. Put this to operate. Now you got to move this needle till till that needle goes all the way to the left. You take that number, which we're going to call it 46. Depending on how you look at it. 40. The higher you would be erring on the side of caution, because the higher that number, the tougher the grain will be. Come over to your chart. Find 46 and 19. So that wheat is actually 14.7. So dry is 14.5, tough is 14.6 to 17. So this stuff would probably keep in an aeration bin. It would probably, even keep for a while in just a regular bin. But because it's early in the year and the wheat looks like it's such nice quality, we're just gonna dry it, and then we give ourselves that little extra bit of sense of security, and maybe we can keep it a little longer. When you go to do your bushel weight, you weigh out a half liter. This is a half-liter cup. We'll zero it. Now there's a fancy cone that sits on top of this, so it lets just the right amount of wheat through. We don't have that, and I think that's probably unnecessary. So I just get a scoop of wheat. Dump it in. I don't clean none of the stuff out. I think they do at the elevator. So that's why this always gives us a really rough, but a pretty good estimate on what the bushel weight will be. So you let it overflow. You take a striker of some sort. Important at this stage, you don't want to shake anything. So you put the striker on once across. Weigh your half liter. Comes out to 399. That's amazing, because the chart only goes to 400. Or sorry, it goes to 410. So 399. The bushel weight, 65.6 pounds per bushel, and so like I said before, that's why we're at this, and we're taking the extra steps to dry it, because it is really good quality wheat. I'm not sure the protein. We don't have a machine that can test that. Those machines are expensive, and I haven't taken a sample to the elevator yet. So that's one thing I'm not worried about. Normally in our area, well, I guess maybe not in our area, but in our farm, we don't usually get high protein. So if we even just hit the average of 13.5, that's good enough for us. A lot of that has to do with the last few growing seasons have been really wet, and it's been really hard on the crops. They say to make protein in wheat, you need a hot, dry July and August. And boy, howdy, did we ever have a hot, dry July and August. So if there's ever going to be a year where we'll get protein, it should be this year. So I'm kind of excited to see how that goes. But anyways, we haven't had breakfast yet. So while this dryer is drying, we're going to slip in, grab a cup of coffee, grab some breakfast. It is, I think it's only a little after 7 right now. So we'll see how the day goes. So it's a little after 10. Dryer's been running all morning, and the old fleet is lined up here. So my daughter's riding with her mom, Buddy's riding with grandma. I'm gonna hop in Carl and take him out so they can get rolling. It's supposed to start raining around 4 o'clock, so we'll see how much we can get done today. Good afternoon, I guess evening, it's 5 o'clock. So this is where we started our first pass on the wheat, 4 or 5 days ago. And yeah, now the baler man, he's got all his bales made. Mom and Corey, they've done everything to the south. So now they're just working at the north. That was a little bit greener, so they left it. It's a little bit heavier. It was supposed to be raining by 4 o'clock. It's now 5 o'clock, and that's what we got. It's, someone is gonna get it. We know that for sure. Wind's blowing out of the east, which is crazy. That always brings the rain. And those clouds are in the west though, and they'll come this way. So however that works, the old spiral effect, I guess. But all this wheat, Dad's been drying all day, and the rest we've just been throwing in aeration bins. Nothing too crazy. We've put wheat in bins before at 22. It's not a good idea. It's you're on borrowed time when you do that for sure. So, but we have. This stuff is about the toughest it is about 16, and I noticed today that there was a lot less squishy ones and green ones, and that's because the south end of this field was riper. When they get up here, I don't know what it's going to be. We'll probably switch to another aeration bin. We got one that's 4,000 bushels, and that should take a good chunk of what they got down there. And then it'll all be in one bin, one cable, and we'll be able to, after this monsoon we get, if we don't drown, we'll be able to pull out of that, keep drying. Our wet bin's full, Super B's are full, dryer's full. My dad filled up his first dry bin. He just moved to another one. So things are going pretty good. So here they are down at the north end, and I guess short of 2 equipment failures, they should get her here in the next half an hour or so. These are kind of short rounds. So what makes this field so big is it's what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's actually 4 quarters. The yard is out of it. I think that's about 40 acres, and then the lake cuts through it, and this block of trees here, and there's a river that runs out of the lake. So instead of it being the 640 acres or whatever, we lose a bunch to the lake, and we lose 70 to the yard. So it ends up being about 400, and it's nice because last year was the first year we seeded the whole thing the same, I do believe. There used to be a couple fence lines when the machinery was smaller. Nobody wanted big fields, right? You could imagine pulling into a field with a 12-foot swather or a 12-foot drill, a 16-foot, and doing 400 acres. Like it would be overwhelming. So when they they also had to clear the land too, that generation. So they were kind of tired. 400-acre farms weren't their thing.